Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Friday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. In the news tonight, NORAD CEO Philemon Nakashole, during a stakeholders meeting at Ndiona this week, shared why the rates were created and why the call of NAMPower to supply electricity directly to the consumers is not viable at the moment.
Ministry. And they did the job very well. But then we realized that, look, we need to, to create an asset-based company. As you know that, Local Authority Act of 1992 mandated local authorities to distribute and supply electricity. Now, what happened to the regions? The regional council do not have the capacity to do that. The owner is a settlement under the regional council. And then we look at, we said, let's do something that really to address the issue of economy of scale. Vocalo or Divundu cannot afford an engineer. We have about 12 engineers in NORAD or more. And now those engineers are able now to give the best services to Vocalo, to Divundu, to Diona. So we're really looking at the whole issue of economy of scale, that we utilize our scale resources, being money and being technician and being engineer to serve the whole 8 political regions. And that is where we talk about economy of scale. Now, the question is, the thinking that we had in 1998, is it still relevant? And that is a debate that, is sitting at cabinet level to see, whether we should continue with the rates or we should, going back to NAMPower, does not reduce cost. All these people that are working for the rates, they will work for that utility that will be there to serve the people. We have a vast country. Namibia is a less populated country, but it is very big. Stretching from Imperial Island to Sesfontein, that is a responsibility that NORAD is having at hand with only about 278 employees. You would appreciate that it's a mammoth task that, the rates are having. So politically, I'm not gonna talk on behalf of the government, but your thinking is also the thinking that, everybody, is looking at to see whether the formula we had in 2000 is still relevant.
Thank you.
The Namibian Prison Service says 15,867 applicants who have been shortlisted for 200 advertised positions must report for evaluation tests between January 18th and 27. According to a statement, 33,259 people applied for the positions. The shortlist includes candidates selected for specific skills for the post for sports and the brass band, as well as truck drivers. 420 candidates were selected. Those who want to be part of the brass band must report to the Israel Patrick Iyambo Police College on January 18th and 19th, while applicants for sports as well as potential truck drivers must report to the Independence Stadium on January 20th and 21st. The rest of the applicants, namely those between the ages of 18 and 25 years, have their turn on 18 and 19 January, while those over 26 years of age must report from 7 a.m. on 20 and 21st January. Applicants must bring their original identification document and a certificate of conduct no older than 6 months to avoid automatic disqualification. While weather experts believe that the coming week, January 16th to the 22nd, may finally mean long-awaited rain for Namibia, the situation is critical for arable farmers in the country's largest maize-producing areas. In both the Cartsveld as well as the central to the eastern maize-producing area, there has been little to sporadic rain so far, say farmers. Meanwhile, Land Water, a non-governmental organization that scientifically analyzes and interprets satellite images of the weather in particular, said a wave of rain over Namibia and South Africa would begin to build up over the weekend, the 13th to the 15th of January. Rain coverage will initially be patchy. The Namibia Revenue Agency has appointed third-party agents to collect tax liabilities, it has announced. The tax collecting agency said it was empowered to appoint third-party agents in line with tax laws. Its executive spokesperson, Stephen Dorokade, said the tax laws administered by NAMRA provide avenues for the recovery of tax debts and empower the NAMRA commissioner to direct a third-party agent who holds any money on behalf of a defaulting taxpayer to pay a specified amount to NAMRA in satisfaction of the taxpayers' areas. Dorokade said employers would be allowed to collect tax areas on behalf of NAMRA, Dorokade explained. The appointment of a third-party agent includes an employer where the taxpayer is employed who holds money on behalf or owes money to the defaulting taxpayer, who is then obliged by virtue of the appointment to pay the amount owed in tax over to NAMRA. Namibian musician Max Jr. released a new single, Girlfriend, which features Musketeers today. The Valentine's Day themed single will be complemented by a music video shot by Spectrum Media. Let's take a look. In our story of the day, Yolanda Nell talks to Dr. Eva Panduleni-Bierkes about vocational training. Do stay with us.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and Oneuptwo.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Allgemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
In our story of the day, Dr. Eva Panduleni-Bierkes talks about vocational training and the importance of teaching.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today I am joined with Eva Panduleni-Bierkes, and we are talking about education and the new curriculum and the program you are busy with. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Yolanda.
When we look at the students who didn't pass now, is vocational training a good option for all of them?
See, this is the thing. I think that we just think non-performers need to be pushed into vocational training. It's not as simple as that. you still need a basic skill of mathematics. You know, we can't just, because you're a non-performer, then say, okay, well, go work with your hands. That doesn't mean that's your role. But the problem also starts, it's not just with the grade 11, grade 12 results. It starts from primary school. Kids who fail get pushed forward, right? So some students get pushed to the next grade, even though they failed, because there is just not enough space in classes. Or if they fail and they get held back a year, if they fail a second time, then they need to move on to the next grade. So you move on, teachers who are teaching grade 6, grade 8 and stuff like that, they are struggling because there are some of the students are sitting in their classes that can't even read yet. So it's not a thing, we can't just look at the grade 11, grade 12 results. We need to start looking at the whole reformation of the education system. And, you know, you can't just pass on learners. You can't just move them forward because there are more coming. We really need to assess what, and by we, I mean the ministry really needs to assess the entire curriculum, the entire education system, even at tertiary education level, right? Who gets accepted into teaching positions? Now, you have to look at the importance of teaching. Teachers create careers for other people, right? They are the people that educate us who move on to our individual careers. Now, if you take someone who barely passed and they become a teacher, how much knowledge can they pass on? How much understanding can they pass on?
You mentioned mathematics, and you have a science and mathematics program. Can you tell us about that?
Okay, so I studied, I've studied almost most of my life. I studied chemistry and mathematics mainly at university with a bit of physics. I did a PhD in chemistry at the University of Aberdeen, where I also did my undergraduate. And I studied mathematics through UNISA. So when I came back from the United Kingdom at the end of 2018, I started working with students, just helping out, you know, friends, kids, and tutoring. And I had also lectured the Access course at the university where I was doing my PhD. So then I decided to actually create this as a program, because science and mathematics is so vital, and a lot of students struggle with it. So I created the Science and Mathematics program, which is something my dad actually ran in the 80s, so I recreated it. And I've been working with students, high school students from grade 9 to AS level, giving them extra classes. And my main aim is to create a situation where students understand what they are studying, why they are studying it. Because I think a lot of students have this concept that science and mathematics are difficult subjects. But I try to look at it from a point of view where I, you know, show why we learn this and how we apply this in day-to-day applications. And I am happy to say that my students, my grade 11 students, and I've only had a few AS students, they all did very well last year. So it can be done. It can be done.
Thank you so much for your time and your insight, and let's hope for a better year, and let's hope that the ministry does see that intervention is needed.
Thank you very much, Yolanda.
In economic news after the break, we take a look at the Bank of Namibia's 2022 to 2024 strategic plan, which commits the bank to drive greater digital transformation.
The My.NA Cars Show provides viewers with the best in-class cars content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest cars-related news, products, and services. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Cars, more than just a ride.
Let's get into our economic news. The Bank of Namibia's 2022 to 2024 strategic plan commits the bank to drive greater digital transformation, financial inclusion, and lead through innovation. The National Payment System Vision 2025 identified open banking as one of the global payment system mega trends and an opportunity for industries to explore over the 5-year National Payment System Vision, with the objective of promoting innovation and transformative payment solutions. Let's take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 16.73 to the US and 18.14 to the euro. It trades at 20.40 to the pound and $2.50 buys you 1 Chinese yuan. Zinc is up by 0.89% and Brent crude oil is down by 0.46%, trading at $83.64 per barrel. In the international slot, Russia claims its forces have taken Soledar after weeks of fighting.
The Evening Review is a daily interview-based talk show that dissects and expounds on current affairs as they occur in Namibia. The show aims at reaching Namibians of all age groups who seek better understanding of the state of current affairs in the country. This show is broadcasted on NTV, Oneuptwo.com, and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: Namibian Sun and Namibia Media Holdings. The Evening Review focuses on interviews, latest news, and up-to-the-minute current events. Contact Evening at synergy.com.na. Evening Review, unpacking today's pertinent issues.
Let's take a look at our international news. Russia said on Friday its forces have taken the town of Soledar in eastern Ukraine following weeks of fierce fighting in what would be Moscow's first significant victory in months. Ukraine's armed forces have denied Moscow's claim. Sergei Sharevati, a spokesman for the eastern group of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, told Ukrainian outlet RBC Ukraine that Russia's claim of capturing Soledar is not true, adding that fighting is going on in the city. A CNN team just outside of Soledar reports ongoing mortar and rocket fire there. Ben Waderman and team, positioned approximately 2.5 miles from the city, are seeing Ukrainian forces ferry troops out in what appears to be a fairly organized pullback. In recent days, there have been competing claims over who has control of the town, and amid fierce fighting, Wagner, the Russian private military company, said it had taken complete control of Soledar on Tuesday, a claim refuted by Ukraine. After the break, we take a look at the weather.
Iranga Talk brings you community news in the Iranga region. For news-related or advertising queries, contact irangatalk at synergy.com.na. Iranga Talk, our community, your news.
Kom kuier gerus elke Vrydag aand saam met Arjougaard, waar hy vooruitskouing doen van wat op die sportvelde reg oor die wêreld gaan plaasvind. Daar word op die naweek se top internasionale sportgeleenthede gefokus en plaaslike sport in Namibië asook Suid-Afrika word in oënskou geneem. Die kenners praat saam en huidige asook oud spelers gee hul mening en ons hoor grootlik sommer uit die spreekwoordelike perd se bek. Niemand weet met sekerheid wat die naweek op die sportveld gaan gebeur nie, maar iemand weet wel watter faktore die uitslae kan beïnvloed. Ons praat met daardie iemand wat weet en soms word geheim ook uitgelaat. Vrydae-aande is ons in die tonnel gereed om uit te draf. Dit is jou Vrydag afspraak wat jou ingelig gaan hou alvordat die spelers uit die tonnel opdraf. Sport is ons passie. Sien jou in die tonnel.
Let's get into our weather predictions. A sunny and hot weather is expected in the north with Nana at 34 degrees and Ruacana at 34. Sunny weather is expected with a high of 22 degrees in Walvis Bay and partly cloudy weather of 21 degrees in Henties Bay. In the sports section tonight, we take a look at the technical committee that appointed 8 ambassadors for Bona 2027.
Sport Wrap is a daily show focusing on all sport news and current affairs. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact sportwrap@synergy.com.na.
Let's get into your sports news. The Namibian Hockey Union's president, Regent Greg, is supremely confident of success in the Indoor Hockey World Cup for the country's male and female hockey teams. He said these at an official send-off ceremony at the Ministry of Sports. Namibian welterweight boxer Charles Shinima is enjoying his career so far, stating that it took him off the streets and allowed him to become a breadwinner. With the new year in full swing, Nestor Tobias said that all 4 continental title holders from his stable will each headline their own boxing event this year. Tobias said supporters can expect a boxing event as early as March. The highlights follows right after this short break.
Tourismus Namibia is a weekly tourism show that brings you the latest news in the tourism industry and topics related to that. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact tourismus@synergy.com.na for news and advertising related queries. Tourismus, bring the world to Namibia.
The Namibian Prison Service says 15,867 applicants who have been shortlisted for 200 advertised positions must report for evaluation tests between January 18th and 27. According to a statement, 33,259 people applied for the positions. The shortlist includes candidates selected for specific skills. While weather experts believe that the coming week, January 16th to the 22nd, may finally mean long-awaited rain for Namibia, the situation is critical for arable farmers in the country's largest maize-producing areas. The Namibian Hockey Union's president, Regent Greg, is supremely confident of success in the Indoor Hockey World Cup for the country's male and female hockey teams. He said this at an official send-off ceremony at the Ministry of Sports. Those have been your highlights. But before we close off, NTV turns 1 on Wednesday, 8 February 2023. And to celebrate, we are giving away a DSTV Explorer, DSTV Dish Kit, Gotv decoders, and $3,000 Namibian shopping voucher from the Foschini Group. All you have to do is scan the QR code in our printed ads in the Republican, Namibian Sun, or Allgemeine Zeitung newspapers and answer the question provided and stand a chance to win big. A big thank you to our sponsors DSTV Namibia, Gotv Namibia, and the Foschini Group for the amazing prices. The competition closes on the 6th of February 2023. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms, on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneuptwo.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and Gotv channel 94 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenn Rashipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.